I'm going to start actually with Zelda, right? Because some of you guys are gamers here. We don't have Gary here.
We don't have Gary,
gamer,
and that's the problem. Yes, that would have been the person to have. So
yeah, I want to hear.
Settle for the rest of us.
He is busy like combing through ancient Egypt, looking for evidence of ancient Martians or something there. But we'll let him off with that. Yeah, the Africa expert. Yeah. But yeah, they have released the first stills from the Zelda movie, and we have them here. Kind of interesting, but it's provoked a bit of a storm of controversy online. Sadly, Hunter Schafer was not cast in the role of Princess Zelda. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, what do you make of it?
I mean, this is this right here. What we have, let's just call it like it is. We have white people cast in white people roles. We have a female cast as a female.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And so based on these images right here, I am very much loving these images. I think this is about as good as you could ask for. I know that it's brought up some questions about Zelda and, her holding the bow and Link's positioning and all that. And I think that that's valid because of where we are in Hollywood. I think that's valid to be concerned, to ask questions, to, go, okay, what's going on here? I brought it up in my video where I said, before Top Gun Maverick, I remember us talking about Maverick on Friday Night Tights before the movie came out. And all of us were like, this movie's probably going to suck. It's probably going to be old man Tom Cruise and some woman's going to come in there and show him, how it's done. And guess what? That's not the case. But our concerns were valid because we've seen so much of this stuff. Once the movie comes out, we will find out. So I don't have a problem with people being concerned or asking questions because of where we've been with so many things. But based on these images alone, based on the franchise, I think these images are as good as you could ask for.
I'm inclined to agree. I think it looks promising so far. Like you say, I mean, these are only a few images from it, so it doesn't tell us a whole lot at this stage, but the casting looks all right. I don't mind it.
There's and people are responding online, but you can find images of Zelda with a bow and arrow and the earlier iterations like the NES and Super Nintendo and Adventures of Link, all that. Yeah, she was truly just a damsel in distress. But you get to Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. Her character was evolving much more before the identity politics movement in Hollywood. Her character's been evolving for a long time. And so her being in this position, for anybody who's played the games, it's not a problem at all. But the concerns are valid at the same time.
It would be nice to see Link with a sword, though. Sorry.
Yeah.
It would, but you don't want to show the Master Sword. You don't want to show that, because you're tipping out. That could be a huge moment to show the Master Sword. You also don't want to show his shield. You want to leave some room for, surprise. So I don't really want to see Link with, the Master Sword, with his shield, with his hat. I don't want to see all of that right now. I just want to see that they're getting the environment right and they're getting the characters right and the costumes. And that's what we're getting right there.
True.
I think so. And you don't know what stage of the story this is going to be at. Like, this could be very early on. He might just, literally because he's sitting down like that, you can't see the sword because it's kind of hidden from view, whatever. There could be, any number of explanations from it, really. So, yeah, I wouldn't draw too many conclusions from it so far. But, yeah, so far it looks pretty good. I think I would say the whole princess who saves herself because she don't need no man trope has definitely run its course.
Agreed.
In terms of the audience perception of it, it was a neat little trope, a neat little subversion of expectations 5 years ago. But that time is kind of past now, and people are so fucking over it. I hope Nintendo know that. I mean, I get the impression as a company they're not in for that identity politics stuff so much.
No, but there is an argument to be made that, Peach in the animated Mario movie had some girl boss elements to her, whereas Luigi was turned into the damsel in distress. I didn't love the Mario movie, but I liked it. It was fine. It was very safe, but it was fine. I had no problems with it. But Peach was definitely more aggressive than she probably would have thought to be in that animated Mario movie. So that is a valid complaint that people had. If they don't, if bottom line is if they make Zelda anything remotely close to overshadowing Link in this movie, it will be a disaster. And what I mean by that is, look, he is her servant. She is a princess. She's royalty. He's her he's there to protect her. He's there in service of her. That's the story. That's how the story's always been. But that is a fine line with current Hollywood and how to portray that. That is a very fine line right now based on what we've seen and how you portray that. And they've got to be aware of that. And if they are not, it can go in the wrong direction very quickly.
Well, that's the issue with anime and lots of stuff. When it was sort of their own local market, they would just put in their own culture, and that was fine because they hadn't gone down the same roads that we had. But as the international market becomes more important and a larger part of the pie, it is more likely that they will start going to people consulting with the West, and they go, no, you have to put this in. This is what we really like, and just lie to them. And that's where the poison will come from. So it really depends whether Nintendo are left to their own devices or whether they consult with like the American department of their own company. And they get very different answers.
Yes, and Nintendo of America is a problem, and they always have been. Their localization, a lot of the things, and they just operate a little differently than Nintendo does in Japan, but Nintendo of America has been a problem. Miyamoto, creator of Mario, creator of Zelda, all of that, he is heavily involved in this. He is kind of taken a step back from the video game side now, so he is far more focused on the movie aspect of things. So he is more involved. He's a producer on the film. You got Wes Ball directing. I don't know a lot about Wes Ball. I think he did the Maze Runner movies, and didn't he do the most recent Planet of the Apes movie? Am I right about that?
Good question.
I think he did. And then you've got one thing that's a concern is that you have a Rise of Skywalker writer involved. Now, I will just say this, okay? A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, a man that directed Breaking Bad episodes was hired to do The Last Jedi. And,
how did that work out?
How'd that work out? So leadership matters. When Rian Johnson was working under Vince Gilligan, we got some of the greatest TV of all time. When Rian Johnson was working under Kathleen Kennedy, we got The Last Jedi. So working under The Rise of Skywalker under J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy, whatever. So it depends on the leadership and the structure, not this guy's resume per se. So we'll see.
I think, in terms of this wider movement, perhaps towards video game adaptations into major movies, we saw it with Sonic, we saw it with Mario. Now we're seeing it with Zelda. I don't know, man. Like, if this movie is a success, which I'm guessing it will be, like, unless it completely shits the bed,
it's guaranteed.
I agreed, Mom.
Yeah. It's kind of paving the way for even more stuff that's going to come further down the road. And I think we're kind of ready for that now. Like, if they've cracked the formula for adapting video games and not making it just like an identity politics fest. Like, I think the Mario one was a good example where it skirted close to the line, like you say, Jeremy, but it wasn't to the point where it ruined the experience. It was like, okay, they've tweaked the characters a little bit here, but I can live with it. It's still a fun film. But yeah, if they can get that balance here, they will make $1 billion easily.
Absolutely. And we are in a age of, personally, and I think it gets overlooked right now, the best video game adaptation is the Sonic franchise. And I'm not saying it's the greatest thing ever, but in terms of the best video game franchise we have on screen right now, the Sonic movie. Sonic 3 was great. I thought it was the best of the three. I don't think any of these movies are like Lord of the Rings, but Sonic movies are really good. You have the Mario that did $1 billion. If a live action Legend of Zelda does $1 billion, you've got the Mario Galaxy movie that's probably going to do $1 billion. Disney is going to essentially be, Nintendo's going to become the new Disney at that point. Like, they're going to be able to control all of these IPs and be that Pixar Disney with live action and animated films if they knock this out of the park. And video game adaptations, Minecraft movie, as terrible as that was, they're nearly $1 billion. So this is superhero genre has kind of, it's passed on, and video game adaptation seems to be the new thing, which ultimately means they're going to be ruined in a short amount of few years. So
financially it definitely makes sense because like the video game industry already dwarfs movies in terms of revenue.
Yes.
Right. And so if you can tap into that audience and say, well, not only do we make video games, but now we also make movie adaptations of those games, it should be a surefire win, as long as, like I say, you don't completely shit the bed and produce garbage products at the end of it. And it's like, wow, I can see that easily supplanting superhero movies as becoming the new blockbusters that come out every summer. Another video game franchise that has, like, 20, 30 years worth of like cultural build up to support it and audience appreciation. The Mario franchise, the Zelda franchise, they've been around since the 80s, man, as video games. So there's generations of audience out there just waiting for that.
Yes. On that note, the comic people who've had all their shit destroyed in superhero movies can't even do the first time meme for video game people. It's like, no, this is not our first time. Like we've had video games destroyed already.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking Mario, right? Like,
are you guys telling me you didn't enjoy Last of Us season 2? Peak fucking cinema.
But see, that's this gen. I'm talking about.
He's about 90s, the OG Mario movie.
Yeah.
But
hey, dude, I'm a fucking Resident Evil fan, and I've had to endure 20 years of this garbage, man.
They're
brutalized.
And a lot of people look. Metroid Dread is one of my favorite games of all time. It recently came out. Last 4 or 5 years it came out. Metroid Dread's one of my favorite games of all time. People want a Metroid game or Metroid movie. I don't think a Metroid movie, like, if you look at the sales of the Metroid franchise, I love the Metroid franchise. They're not like top tier sellers. I don't think a Metroid movie is like something that Nintendo can do unless they have success with Zelda and Mario to the top level. And then that could afford them to
low budget.
Yes, that can afford them the opportunity to make a Star Fox movie, which people will eat up in small doses.
Star Fox would do amazing.
It would.
It would.
It would be Star Fox and Metroid. I don't know if they'll be $1 billion, but damn, they will be amazing to watch.
Dude, Jerry, if they made a fucking MCU for Nintendo characters, they probably would be able to dominate the
Smash Bros. And it just leads into a Super Smash Bros. Movie.
Smash Bros. Being their equivalent of Avengers would be insane.
Yes. Like, these things
they're
going
to draw in multi-generations of people, and Tricky, you'll watch it out of curiosity. So,
Look, man, we're never going to stop Street Fighter from like 1994. Okay, that was peak.
But there is a whole load of range. Like, the first Deus Ex game has an incredible story on its own, just made for a movie if you just replicated the same thing. And unlike superheroes, there's a whole variety of different genres and everything, so it wouldn't get stale. Gaming is a far wider range of audience than range of movies than superheroes. The main issue is Hollywood will never take gaming seriously. They will look down on it and think that movies are better, which is exactly what they did with comic books. They're like, it's just comic books, who really cares about it?
Well, dude.
And that will lead them to not respect it and go through the same thing again, where they just see it as money. They're kind of dragged along, and they're interested in the pay packet without actually the franchise itself. And I think you will run into the same issues, the exact same issues you did with comic books.
Roll it back far enough, and movies were struggling to be taken seriously, right? So it's like an inevitability. They're going to have to move over because video games are enormous.
Well, oh, not again!